Salute to Knicks Nation on this Friday night. Knicks back at home, hosting Alec Burks and the Detroit Pistons on Kith night. Knicks debuting their new 2022-23 City Edition jerseys. And despite taking a 17-point lead, man, this was not an easy one by any stretch because the Pistons would come back, led by Ivy Burks, Isaiah Livers, and the gang, cutting the lead to at least 4 points. But then the Knicks' big three would have something to say, led by Jalen Brunson, 9 points in the fourth. RJ Julius quickly with a timely three. Knicks would end up pulling away, 121 to 112. CP the franchise, Alex Shataros on the ones and twos. Episode number 340. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Knicks get the dub, 121 to 112. Let's talk about it. Lock in. Friday night. Let's get it going. What's good, Al? How you feeling, man?
Hey, man. Knicks win. I like the jerseys. What do you think about the jerseys before we get into it?
You know what? When I first saw like the early pictures, I was like, it looks kind of average, looks kind of the same. But seeing it, all of them in playing, I kind of like it. I might go get one, man. I might go get a jersey. But what do you think about them?
I like them, man. I was like you. Like when I initially saw them, like the first glance, it didn't wow me over. But then reading about it and being able to write about it, I did like. I like the tribute to that 99 to 2003 Knicks era. Yeah. We've been asking for those jerseys. It's inverted. I think it's cool. I think the design is like very nicely done. I like it, man. I like it.
Yeah, and no doubt, man. So let's get into this game, man. The return of Burks. That was another storyline outside of the jerseys. You heard Breen and Clyde talking about it. The return of Burks and how that would impact this Pistons team. No Cade Cunningham, so you had to watch out for number 5. Even though it was his first game back, he's liable to cook, and you just never know. This game started off, it was such a weird flow to the game. Yeah. Kind of boring early because both teams couldn't stop fouling each other. The Knicks, on average, gave up 24 free throw attempts per game.
Did they ever stop fouling each other?
They did not stop fouling. They give up 24 attempts per game. 26, sorry. 22, right? Yeah, sorry. 22. Pistons went to the line 41 times, bro. 41 times. And so it was a very weird pace. You couldn't really get into a flow, but nevertheless, Knicks being the better team, shout out to a 17-point lead. How about RJ, man? 30 points. I thought, obviously the two things that I watch for, or the three things rather, is how he's finishing at the rim. Is he playing good defense? And is he playmaking a little bit more? I've said this in the past couple of shows that he can get to the rim with relative ease. How he's finishing is really a coin flip. Tonight he finished well, but on his drives, he was passing more and playmaking more and capitalizing on the threat that he is to get to the basket, not always forcing the shot up at the rim, but looking for others. And he made a couple nice plays. We saw a nice 1-2 combo, 1-2 game between he and Brunson early in the game. To close the game, he used his driving ability, found quickly in the corner, who needed a three to save his life, desperately needed a three, and quickly hit a big three in that game to really help the Knicks pull away. I liked RJ's game tonight, man. Very efficient night for RJ. 30 points, good bounce back game for him.
Absolutely. 10 for 17, 3 for 8 from the three-point line, 7 for 8 from free throws. His free throw shooting this season has been on point.
Yeah.
Got to highlight that. Got the 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Plus 11 tonight, 30 points. As you said, highly efficient game. And he was essentially steady throughout the entire night. It felt like every quarter, RJ was contributing in some way or some fashion, whether it was knocking down critical threes, just being able to get to the basket and drawing fouls and getting to the line and knocking down free throws. I mean, even the fourth quarter, as the game is getting closer, he's knocking down critical free throws. So it was overall it was a solid night for RJ Barrett. I thought his playmaking, it didn't all show up in the stat sheet, but I thought he was doing a good job trying to get everybody involved. I like how Thibs staggered his minutes tonight. Once again, like we were complaining about that the last couple of games. Tonight he went back to that, let RJ rock with the second unit for a bit, and you saw when you allow him to do that, even though he was hot coming out of the gate, it just allows him to continue to stay hot throughout the game, and then you can still rely on him rather than just having him and Randall paired together, and then they kind of throw each other off because both of them need their touches, right? So
Yeah.
overall, good game for RJ. I like what I saw tonight.
Yeah, definitely like what I saw, man. And just winning basketball. That's what I've been talking about with him and Julius. It's not just about getting your points, but you capitalizing on the advantages that you can create and get others involved. And I thought RJ was really good at that, especially in terms of playmaking. Brunson, once again in the fourth quarter when the Pistons were making their run, cut this to as much as as little as 4 points. But throughout that fourth quarter, as they were trying to make that run, and give credit to Isaiah Livers, man. I like his game. He had a big summer league for Detroit. Very versatile wing, was knocking down a lot of threes, playing some good defense, had a couple block shots. I like his game for Detroit. But Brunson, nevertheless, every time he's kind of like that momentum stopper. You know, every time Detroit was trying to make a run, Brunson would come in and clap back. He'd get a nice mid-range shot, a teardrop, had a big three-point play. 9 points in the fourth quarter for Brunson. Another solid game for him. 26 points, 7 dimes. I thought he was facilitating very well. 4 steals, 8 for 8 from the stripe, 8 of 16 on the night. Great game by Brunson tonight as well, man. Especially closing.
Absolutely. You just gave out the stat line. I thought he was active tonight defensively. He had active hands. That's where you get the 4 steals. Also knowing how to jump the passing lanes. Good stuff by him. And he was just making critical shots down the stretch of the game. You know, I think the pivotal point tonight was when you have RJ who's driving to the lane. He gets swatted. IQ saves the ball from going out of bounds baseline, gets it back out to Brunson. Brunson drives in, draws the and one, finishes with the floater, gets down to the line. Momentum shift goes back to the Knicks. You know, you mentioned earlier this season that we got a closer in one, Jalen Brunson. Yeah, he won't show up every single night just because this team as a whole, you know, it's not going to be there to compete with the upper echelons of the Milwaukee Bucks and Cleveland Cavaliers. But for games like this, coming down the stretch, you see where he's just critical. He's just able to knock down mid-range jumpers, hitting some, I think he had a few three-pointers today. Yeah, he had 2 3-pointers today. Made some big shots down the stretch of the game, and was just able to keep everyone composed. You know, that's the thing that we need, and we didn't see that the last couple of games. Tonight, he was able to do that. Good stuff by Jalen Brunson, and we need this more from him on a nightly basis. You know, in order for this team to really stay in, he needs to be the head of the snake. I know it's different not playing with Luka Doncic, but for this team, and he's adapting. You can see that he's a playmaker. 7 assists doesn't pop out of nowhere. You got to be some sort of playmaker. And the one that I really like, he found Julius Randle a couple times. The one was when Randle was cutting baseline. Shocker that Randle was cutting baseline to begin with.
Yeah,
that
was in the first half.
Yeah, that was nice. But the other one is when Brunson is pushing the ball in transition, and you have Randle as the trailer. Just dishes it right back. Randle just with a slam. That's the good stuff that you like to see. That's keeping your head up and looking around and knowing your surroundings. Brunson needs to do that every single game for the Knicks to be in it, right? So good stuff by him tonight. Really liked his performance. Just a clutch performance overall.
Yeah, solid, man. Solid when we needed it, especially when Detroit was making their run. Interesting rotations tonight. I thought the rotations were very interesting, man. First of all, Hartenstein started.
Yep.
And we know there's a different dynamic when he starts as compared to Sims, but I just felt like when he was out there, I mean, the spacing was so clear-cut. It allowed Brunson to get his drives. RJ, Julius, same way. It allowed them to attack the paint. Knicks 60 points in the paint tonight. I just like, obviously he just opens things up offensively for them. And so Thibs going a little bit different. Couple nights it was Sims. Now it's Hartenstein. Also, Derrick Rose was in the news yesterday because he was in his press conference yesterday. He was basically saying he's kind of stuck in no man's land. He's in an unknown in terms of his playing time, in terms of, I guess, his role coming off of the bench. And so Rose, once again, being the first guard off the bench, he was all right, up and down game. But nevertheless, Thibs really was mixing and matching, man, between starters and rotation. We saw a lot of different combinations out there tonight. I thought it was very interesting. Interesting moves by Thibs tonight.
I liked it, man. In games like this where the Knicks should win against a lesser opponent in Detroit, and Detroit Knicks have a tough time going against teams that shoot threes very well. Detroit shot 22.6%, 7 out of 31 shots from three tonight. So this was a game that was in the Knicks' favor for them to win, just because they didn't have to necessarily worry about anyone on the perimeter, except for Livers. Livers decided to just show up in the second half and just start knocking down shots. But for like when you're looking at the rotations, when you have these opportunities to shake up the rotations, this is what I like from Thibs. The one that stood out to me, my man, is just seeing, well, I think it was Brunson, Grimes,
Yeah.
RJ, Obi, and Randall.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that rotation.
Yeah.
They were moving out in space. All five of them can push the pace whenever needed. So you can really play what's the term, that positionless basketball.
Yeah.
That's what I like. But I thought that was great. And you had Grimes out there who looked like he had a good quick step, man. It looks like he's starting to feel better. This rest seems to be I was a little concerned. I didn't know if we're going to see when we're going to see Grimes, but tonight he looked a little bit more healthy, had a nice little combo dribble move, drove to the rim, finished, and then knocked down a 3-2. That lineup, I liked it a lot. But yeah, man, just the ability to like interchange, like letting RJ go play with the second unit, having even when it's Randall to go play with the second unit, so that way he can get going on some certain nights. Putting Derrick Rose with the starters to give Brunson a rest. Having Brunson with the second units, like Brunson and IQ. That's a good backcourt I like to see as well. It allows Quickly to be that guard to attack. And Quickly started to find a shot tonight, man.
Yeah.
Went 2 for 3 from three, 3 for 6 from the field, and he had his 5 rebounds, his 2 steals, 1 assist. But him knowing that he can be that secondary guard with either Derrick Rose or Brunson out there, these are the type of rotations that we're looking from Thibodeau, just to see what can help players feel comfortable and be in their role. So I like it, man. I like it. I like what Tiz has been doing.
Yeah, he mixed and matched well. He definitely mixed and matched well. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Knicks postgame live presented by Manscaped. CP and Alex on the ones and twos. Knicks win 121-112. Call us up with your thoughts on the game, man. You can hit us up on the KnicksFanTV Discord, or call us up 657-383-1509 is the number to call. Shout out to the rhyme animal, Chuck D. I see Chuck in the chat vibing with the people, so shout out to Chuck. Knicks get a win, debut in their new jerseys. Speaking of quick and rotations, how about the fact that Quickly played 14 straight minutes to close the game?
Yeah.
Cam Hive, how we feeling tonight? Grimes is back. Yeah, don't. I hope JD wasn't watching tonight, because Grimes came back, and then in the fourth, when Detroit was making their run, Quickly came in with about 2 and change in the third and never left the game. Finished with the starters and got a clutch 3 in crunch time. What'd you think about that?
I think tonight allowed it for Quickly to be in that rotation. Like when we're playing teams like Brooklyn, Milwaukee, you're gonna want someone with a good wingspan and height to guard different players. So I think tonight was just a night that was suitable for Quickly to be out there in the closing lineup. And we just seen Thibs go with whatever player he thinks sometimes. Not always right, but we've seen some nights go with the hot hand.
Yeah.
Some nights he goes based on matchups. I think it just all depends. But I like what I saw from Quickly tonight. It allowed him to get back into rhythm and just be that off-ball guard, like I stated earlier. You talked about that rotation closing the game. How about the rotation I mentioned earlier, closing the first half? I think that was a run for 8 straight minutes.
Yeah.
I was shocked that Thibs went that way with Brunson, Grimes, RJ, Obi, Randall. That was
I think that's what he wants to see. I think that's what he feels like as he continues to experiment with this Randall Obi front court. That's the lineup that he wants. You know what I'm saying?
Out there.
They can play fast. You got some offense. You got Grimes in there to play some defense. Obi's defense has been pretty good this year.
Mm-hmm.
You can get out and transition with RJ, Obi, Grimes, Brunson pushing. Randall pushing when he's under control. I think that's the lineup to watch if you get a healthy Grimes.
For sure. And Look, Grimes came in today, went 2 for 4 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3-point land. He had some solid rebounding, man. I mean, that's the thing that we need on this team too, more rebounding, especially with Mitch out right now. But getting to that lineup, that's probably why Thibs started with Hartenstein today, because he wanted more offense than defense and to open it up. Because tonight was just a battle of who was going to score more in the paint. Both teams shot poorly from the three. Knicks shot 25%, Pistons 22.6%. But I think tonight, for these lineups, I'm just seeing that Thibs it depends on who he's going against. That's really what it is. I think he's trying to gauge the matchup and try to put this team in the best position as possible. And like I said, it's not always going to be right. He's not, and he's going to be stubborn some nights. We saw that. I think, especially against top caliber teams, he's going to stick with certain guys that he believes can get the job done. Whether it's right or not, I think he's at least trying to mix it up.
True indeed, man. Let's get to the phones, hear what the people got to say, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Knicks postgame live presented by Manscaped. We got 1,200 people in the chat. Let's get those likes up. Hit that thumbs up button. Knicks get a bounce back win, 121-112. To the phones we go. Ron from Baltimore. Ron, what's going on?
I was happy for MJ Burks, I was happy for him, CP, because you got to watch him again. I got to watch him again. He can change your franchise. This was only night one for him.
Yeah, first game back, Ron. My man drops a 15 easy. Everybody was having trouble with him, man. He was giving Quickly the work. He was giving Fournier the work. You know what I mean? He was schooling Grimes. Grimes couldn't keep up with him on the three-point line. First game back, man.
He'll change. See, the thing about people don't understand is MJ Burks off the ball can change a franchise. He had one in the corner that he's got to make, but it was his first night back. He's an easy 20 points a night 25 minutes. MJ Burks is terrific, but let's get to our team.
Let's go.
RJ Barrett, I called him out, and this is what I expect. That's what I want RJ to do. Yes, it's against the Pistons, but I don't care. I like that RJ attacked. I like that he was making some threes, getting to the line. RJ Barrett, that's the blueprint type of game. You got to do it consistently. Obviously, the 30 points, I don't expect that every night, but the all-around play, because, again, CP, the one skill set he does have is he can get to the paint. He can attack with his left hand. It doesn't work if you can't finish or make free throws. If he finishes and makes free throws, he can be a very good player. So that was good. I thought Julius had some big rebounds. Down the stretch. I give Julius credit for making big rebounds. Quickly, here's the thing. I called out Quickly last time, too. The thing about Quickly that I like him better off the ball, where he's not loosey-goosey, and then sometimes Quickly, when he's on the ball or even he catches it, he'll take 10 steps back like he's like in an and one mixtape. I hate that. Just stand in the corner, we'll pass you the ball and make threes. That's all you got to do. But I think they were inspired, CP, by MJ Burks being back in the building. The offense was back. We got to beat OKC, but CP, this is a good night for you and me because MJ Burks was back and we got to witness greatness. Give the man.
Ron from B-Boy. Salute to Rod. Salute to Rod.
Hey, I mean, even even Casey thought Burks was great because we didn't even see Ivy close.
Ivy didn't even close. I'm looking on the bench. I'm like, wait, I'm looking at the box score. Did Ivy foul out? Is he injured? I'm looking on Twitter. What happened to Ivy?
Because
he went
Burks,
with Burks to close. Thibs isn't the only guy that has faith in Alec Burks to deliver in crunch time. Dwayne Casey, a coach of the year, sits his prized rookie in favor of Burks. That was very interesting.
What a world, man.
What a world, man.
What a world. The top number 4 overall pick gets benched for Alec Burks.
Alec Burks.
Hey, man.
I thought Ivy had his moments, man. Ivy definitely had his moments. They couldn't cut off his drives. He was able to get to the free throw line. 10 points for Ivy tonight, 4 assists. He was decent. Bogdanovich balled out for them. Killian Hayes had his moments. Diallo as well. And that was 17 points for Burks. Correction, not 15. 17 for Burks.
In 25 minutes. Got to the free throw line a lot.
Yeah.
6 for 8, man.
Well, he knows all these guys' weaknesses, man.
Yeah.
He knows all these guys' weaknesses. So that was light work. He's like practice all over again.
As TM said in the chat, Ivory, as Clyde was calling Ivory.
Clyde calls him Ivory. I'm calling Isaiah Livers. You know, that's just how it goes down, man. Shout out to the Rhyme Animal Chuck T. $10 super chat says D Rose is ramping up. He's honest about the unknown. Nobody knows. He will figure it out, but IQ has to figure it out totally. He and D Rose have to switch roles from 2 years ago. D Rose waiting. Uniforms are fire. Chuck approves the uniforms.
Let's go.
I like the font on the uniforms. I feel like Chuck likes the font. They did bring the arch back on the font. A little, you know, homage to the late 90s jerseys, and kind of just remixed the colorways and the trim, kind of reversed the colorways and the trim and made it black. I thought it was nice. I thought it was nice. I may have to go get one, man. Yeah,
it's I like it more than the first jerseys that they did under Kith with the circle.
Yes.
I wasn't really a big fan of those.
Yeah.
Last year's I like a lot. This year's are definitely a second to me.
No, I hear that, man. But yeah, on the IQ front, and I spoke about IQ yesterday on the post up with Ian Begley, and I don't know if he has too much responsibility running the offense, and maybe that should go on Rose, and if Rose is looking for that, maybe it works, right? You put the ball more in Rose's hands, get IQ some more off-ball opportunities. You play IQ, mix IQ in with the starters so that he's playing with capable playmakers like a Brunson, like an RJ, maybe even a Julius at times. Because even earlier in the game, when he has the ball in his hands, he's still indecisive. He's holding on to the ball. He doesn't know if he wants to drive. He doesn't want to attack. He just wasn't aggressive at all in the first half.
Yeah, he does the whole east to west thing, not going north and south. And that's not point guard. Thibs wants you to attack. If you're going to be in that driver's seat, you need to get into the teeth of the defense and start kicking out or looking for people in the paint, doing some dump off passes. And he's not doing that. And I think it's just he's a gunner. Like that's who he is. You know, even with the boneheaded shots that he takes at times, he's a score first guard. And I think you have to just lean into that and let him be a score first guard who can do some playmaking here and there. But I think to give him the responsibility, it's just a shift in thought process, because you're not looking for your shot most of the time. You're looking for everyone else to get their shot and organizing the offense. And that's not an easy thing to do. You know, if it was so easy, everyone would be a solid point guard. But you know, I would just leave him as a guy right now to to maximize his talent. Maybe one day he can learn how to play the point guard effectively, but as of right now, just let him be that secondary scorer. Get him a lot of minutes with the starters, especially in closing lineups when he has the opportunity. And let him knock down those shots, man. Like tonight, when he knew, like in the second half, I'll say, especially the fourth quarter, like that's where he started to get most of his points, because you have Brunson out there, you know, and Brunson played 32 minutes. Once again, we have Derrick Rose, 16 minutes, just barely eclipsing 15 minutes, but he needs a playmaker out there. He needs someone else to do those playmaking duties for him to be comfortable on that court. Yeah, we're seeing it.
Agreed on that one wholeheartedly. Now, with the Rose thing, bro, I was a bit confused by the comments that he made, because earlier in the preseason and during training camp, he talked about, you know, I'm not the same guy. I don't have an ego. I don't care who plays. I don't need to play. And here we are a month later. He's like, man, I'm in no man's land. I don't know what's going on. So it's like all of a sudden reality hit. And he's like, hey, I want to be playing there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And it's so interesting how he was like, yeah, him and Thibs aren't talking that much. And then Thibs comes out there like, no, we communicate all the time. I'm like, what is happening? Who's telling who what?
Who's telling who what? This was the Rose comment right here. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. This is Rose on his roll in yesterday's media conference?
I'm in the unknown. Trying to stay focused, give my all every day with talking to the guys, being vocal, like I said earlier on in the year, and trying to communicate to them what I see on the floor. But yeah, this is foreign for me.
Right, so he's in the unknown, and this was the Thibs comment on D Rose. Let's hear from Thibs. This was yesterday.
I talked to Derek probably as much as anyone, but you sit down, you talking to your players every day, so. And you're asking everyone to sacrifice. So some guys that might be going from starting to, coming off the bench. Some guys might be going out of the rotation. That's all part of you. Like, you have a finite amount of minutes. You have to have a rotation. And a lot of it's based on performance. All of it is how does the group perform when you're on the floor. I try to reiterate to everyone that you can play well without shooting well. So if you're not shooting well, you can't allow that to take away from the other things that you can do to help the team win. And so we're going to keep searching for guys that can help us win. And that's really where we are. And so we want more minutes, you got to play well.
Kind of ended that in an interesting way. You want more minutes, you got to play well. And let's be real, when it comes to Derrick Rose, he hasn't been playing well.
Yep.
If you take the whole season, 12 games in, he hasn't been playing well. There's been games where he hasn't played in the whole second half.
Yep.
Because the first half has been lackluster. He's been turning the ball over, not making good decisions. Doesn't have the same burst as he's had. The injuries are piling up. Surgeries are piling up. Maybe mentally he's in between, second guessing when to be aggressive, when to attack. He made one drive in this game today against Detroit, and you thought they might have had to cart him off. It took him that long to recover. So I think part of it is Rose having a tough time dealing with Father Time rather than being confused about his role, so to speak. Because, he's been coming off the bench for 3 years with this team.
Yeah. I think the thing is that he used to gain somewhere between 22 to 27 minutes on a nightly basis. And now with Jalen Brunson, who's going to eat over 30 minutes per game, he's a starting point guard. We're going to rely on him.
Yeah.
Thibs is not going to let Brunson play under 30 minutes unless the Knicks have some colossal lead.
Yeah.
Which even then, I don't even know he would allow Brunson to sit out just because how this team allows teams to get back into it. But look, let's just go through his numbers. If you look at the last couple of games, I'm going to start off with the Detroit game most recently. Shot 28.6% from the field, hit no shots yet against Brooklyn, hit 10% from the field, 1 for 10 against Minnesota, 4 for 10 against Boston. He shot 40%, 0 for 2 in 7 minutes against Philadelphia. And then against Atlanta, went 1 for 4, hit 25% of his shots. And during that time, he's made from Detroit 2 assists, Brooklyn 2 assists, and the remainder of the games from Minnesota back to Atlanta, 1 assist every night. What are you doing? That's 8, and we're talking. Let me just so everyone can know, it's 8.0 points, 2 points, 10 points, 0 points, 3 points. That's what he did going back from Detroit to Atlanta. If Thibs saying you got to play better, he hasn't been playing well to deserve more minutes, rightfully so. And for Derrick Rose, I also think it's not only father time, but he legit just came back from an ankle injury and has not played basketball since December of last year.
Yeah.
And I think that's very tough for a guy who's dealt with so many injuries in his career to then ask him to come and bounce back again. Look, he had to even lose weight to make sure that he still kept up his speed. I know everyone's talking about that. Did he lose a step? Maybe slightly, but he's still pretty fast out there.
Yeah.
But we're seeing guys now swat some of his layups, man.
Live is pinned one of his joints. Got him a couple times.
So I think it's Rose trying to get back into the best shape possible after coming back from injury. I think it's fighting father time and figuring out how do you adjust your game yet again to stay relevant. That's maybe being more of a jump shooter and knowing how to bring out the defense to the perimeter and hit more mid-range shots. He still has the speed. I think it's more so the agility and the quickness, like the fast twitch muscle to get past somebody.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't think he's too far off. Like we've seen him be a good jump shooter. It's just getting back into rhythm.
Yeah, I agree. But, look, as far as the minutes are concerned, I get that he's concerned. And some fans, I guess the Rose Hive fans are concerned. But you can't say play the kids, and then be mad at his minutes, right? As you said, Brunson is here. Brunson's going to get a lion's share of the minutes at that spot. You have Quickly now getting his fair share of minutes. This is the core. This is the future. If we're saying play the kids, we can't necessarily be mad that Rose's minutes, are dwindling or aren't the same as they were last year. So they got to figure that out. You know what I mean? They got to figure it out. Hopefully he plays a little bit better. As we said, it'll help Quickly. It'll help Obi, everybody with that second unit, if he can play a little bit better, especially when you play better teams.
Well, if we want Quickly to be that off-ball guard, we're going to need Derrick Rose because who's the other point guard? Then are you moving up Quickly to be the point guard? And like we've seen Quickly do it last season, hasn't had it. We haven't seen the end of last season him playing as a point guard to start off this season, which is why I'm saying leave him in that off-ball guard role and let him just be that shooter that we know he can do that role very well. But if you're gonna switch him to being that point guard, like we need as much shooting and much aggressive 3-point shooting as possible. So I would rather hope for Rose, and he's at a position where if he's getting that many minutes that he could be efficient, like that'd be great. Like we don't really have. I mean, yes, everyone's going to tell me Deuce McBride, but Deuce is not going to drive into the paint like Brunson or Rose. So to help the second unit and the other young kids out, we do need Derrick Rose to be playing better. He's not. Yeah. He's at a position where we don't really have a lot of youth. It's not like the 2, the 3, the 4, where you can say, oh, well, we have Obi here, we have Grimes over here, we have Cam over here.
Right.
These guys need minutes. It's Brunson and Derrick Rose who are playing point guard.
True indeed, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Knicks win 121-112. CP and Alex on the 1s and 2s. Let's get back to the phones. Let's hear from Manny from the Bronx. Manny, what's going on?
Hey, CP and Alex. I'm happy to be on the line with you guys. I'm a first time, long time.
Nice.
I've been a Knicks fan since the 60s, bro. Since the 60s. I'm an old timer.
We got an OG in here. Let's go.
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. But real quick, we almost let the game slip. With 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They were behind by 6 points. I was getting worried again.
Yep.
I'm still just getting over what happened Wednesday night against the Nets, and I was afraid. Here we go again. But I was glad. I was glad that they pulled it out. I'm gonna be real quick about this. I was watching the other night, CP. You won that show, The Putback.
Yeah, Ian.
And I was really impressed by your commentary. You were sharp. It's the first time I've seen you without a hat. I almost didn't recognize you. You had a nice line. Your beard was trimmed. You had a nice. You looked like I thought you were going for a job interview. You had a nice suit and everything, but your comments were really astute, on point. And of all the Knicks fan shows that I watch, you guys are really the best. Alex, all you guys, your commentary is right on, and I really, really enjoy it. So keep up the good work, and I look forward to talking to you guys again in the future.
Manny from the BX, man. Definitely appreciate the call. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Let's go back to some sounds from the game. Let's hear from Thibs. See what Thibs got to say about tonight's win. Here's Tom Thibodeau, courtesy of SNY Videos. Here's Thibs.
Yeah, I think the start of the game was good. The thing that was different about this game is we still didn't shoot the ball great, but I thought we made a lot of plays, unselfish plays, to help get high quality shots. So I thought everyone was focused on helping the team first, and we ended up scoring 120 points. And over the course of the game, teams are going to make runs, and obviously the free throw stuff, we have to be better with not fouling and adjust to the way the game was being officiated. So it was called tight, and I want to look at the fouls. Like, some of them were borderline, but some of them were whacking down, and we gotta fix that.
All right, that was Tom Thibodeau on tonight's game, courtesy of SNY Knicks videos. Let's go a little bit by the numbers, Al, man, because Thibs, pretty much spoke on everything. It was a lackluster start. They couldn't shoot the ball well in the beginning of the game. Knicks did finish with 20-second chance points, which was as a result of some of their effort and their offensive rebounding. That was good. As I said earlier, tonight's show, 41 free throw attempts by the Pistons. And I thought it was a combination of the Pistons being able to put pressure on them, but I thought the refs were kind of calling it a tight one as well, man.
Oh, yeah. There was something I was like, really? That's what we're calling a foul tonight?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like the one where Obi had his hand on the back of, I think it was Duran. I was like, really? Was that even a push? Come on now.
That was a cheap one, man. I wasn't feeling that at all. 41. As I said, Knicks gave up 22 a game on average. They gave up damn near double in tonight's game to the Pistons. Now, on the free throw statistic, good job by the Knicks tonight. 27 for 29 from the stripe. They've been an inconsistent free throw shooting team. Shot 93% from the stripe tonight. So good job by them. You had some perfect stretches for Brunson. RJ was shooting well from the free throw line as well. 7 of 8 for RJ, 8 of 8 for Brunson, 5 for 5 for Randall. So your big three only missed one free throw. You had D Rose 4 for 4. Fournier chipped in 3 for 4. So a good night from the stripe by the team as well.
Currently 16th best free throw shooting team on the season with 77.7%. Top free throw shooting team right now by percentage is the Miami Heat with 86.7. So they're doing pretty good, man, considering that we're usually in the basement.
Yeah, not bad at all. Now, truth be told, put a little asterisk on this. This is the worst defensive team in the league. All right, so it is the worst defensive team in the league. However, again, just looking at the stats on what the Knicks did well tonight, free throws are definitely one of them. How about turnovers? Averaging 16 on the night, only 11 tonight. I thought they did a good job of taking care of the ball, even though 11 turnovers led to 18 Piston points. You got to cut down there. And then points in the paint, 60 points in the paint for the Knicks tonight on when they usually average 54. So 60 points in the paint for them. And so that was a good job by the guards getting dribble penetration and just attacking a weak Pistons front line.
Yeah. I mean, 87 points came between the paint, shooting the paint, and free throw line. Yeah. Because it ain't our three-point shooting, man.
It ain't the threes.
It ain't the three-point shooting. We continue to struggle.
Yeah, it's definitely not the threes, but again, we'll see if your Grimes gets a little bit healthier. We'll see how that impacts things with the rotations and the three-point shooting efficiency, effective field goal percentage, and the like. So see how that goes, man. All right, back to the phones we go. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Recapping the Knicks 121-112 win over the Pistons. And for all you people at home, man, welcome to the Knicks Postgame Live, #1 show for the fans, by the fans. If you guys are new in the chat, type in #new in that chat box, and we will shout you guys out. Also, throw your cities or your countries in the chat. Let us know where you're checking in from. We'll shout you guys out as well. Remember to hit that like button right now. Hit that thumbs up button for us. Definitely goes a long way in supporting this channel and the growth of the channel. And also share these videos. Share it on Twitter right now, Facebook, whatever you do, wherever you do your social medias. Share this link. Maybe post an IG story if you're watching the show. Those are the things that goes a long way in tapping into that social media algorithm and bringing more people to the show. So we count on everybody for doing their work, and we'll do ours by bringing you some fresh and fire content. Shout out to D Puesh, team #new. D Puesh, how you feeling? We also have, we got our regulars, Edwin P. checking in here. We got Adrian Realty checking in from Las Vegas, regular viewer. Anthony Corniel, Corona, Queens. We got Michael Benavidez, Astoria, Queens in here. Who else are we going to shout out in the chat out?
Let's see. We're doing hashtag news or locations right now.
Anything you see in the chat, man.
All right. We got Sean V saying from Antarctica.
Yeah.
We got Will Latimer from Georgia and Harlem. End Moment from Dade County. We got Edwin P from Haiti. Let's go. All right. The quiz is just saying that he's from the world. I don't even know where in the world he is right
now. Okay. He's worldwide with it. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Like Carmen San Diego, bro.
All good.
Yeah.
All good, man. Well, speaking of worldwide, man, let's go up north to T-Dot. Let's go to the 6, man. Justin, what's going on?
Hey, man. How you guys doing, man? Happy to be on the show, man.
How you feeling, man?
CP, Alex, how y'all doing?
Good, man. How you feeling, bro?
Hey, I'm doing good. So one thing I want to will say, actually, I'm trying to keep it rapid. So basically, I don't know how.
Oh, you got to call back, man. You got to call back, man. What do you got? Like Rogers? What's the cell service up there? Rogers? His Rogers communication ain't good, man. Justin, you got to call back when your signal's strong enough. You got to get your Verizon joint. He was in and out of there. He was calling like a landline.
Started fine. The next thing you know, it's
it was like,
all choppy.
A?
Choppier than the Hudson.
Yeah. His A's came out though. He's from Toronto. You know what I mean? You could hear that in action. Those are coming out. Those are audible. Everything else was cloudy from there. Benji, what's going on? Benji, how you feeling?
Hey, what's up, CP? What's up, Alex? So obviously, I'm thrilled with the win. But it was agonizing to get to that point. We definitely got to clean a lot of things up here. I'm very, very, very nervous about this OKC game. OKC is playing well. They scored 132 points tonight. We know they're hungry. We know they have SGA and Josh Giddey, who are likely going to be trying to slice into the lane pretty easily based on how our defense has been thus far. My biggest issue right now with what I see, I really don't like this. You all know that I'm a huge Evan guy, and he hasn't been good. He's been bad. We know that, right? He missed like 2 layups tonight. You know, he got a couple open looks from 3, missed them. This rotation with Reddish, Fournier, and Grimes, I don't like it. I know there's got to be a better way to do the rotation. Like, Cam hasn't distinguished himself, right? He had a good opening game against Memphis. He had a good game against Philly, but he's had a bunch of pretty lousy games since where he's inconsistent. He's just not a consistent shooter. And Grimes is not healthy, clearly, and not in shape. So it's just a very weird thing. Those 3 players are kind of in limbo, and they don't know like where their minutes are going to come from. Like, and I just think like, look, Fournier is going to be here this year, so we got to get the most out of him. So he doesn't look comfortable in this role playing him 12 minutes a night. Like, he's not used to it. It's not comfortable. We're not getting the most out of him. You can see he doesn't look like the same player. Confidence-wise, tentative. I would go back to starting him, and you don't have to play. You can regulate his minutes. You can put Cam in. You can go to Grimes. It just doesn't seem like there's any rhyme or reason to how they're relegating the minutes, right? Grimes played in the first half, and then he didn't play again. Like, he played reasonably well. He made a 3, and had some nice plays, but he didn't get back in, right? Is that just because he's out of shape and Thibs is just saying, I can only play him 8?
He's on a minutes count. The Grimes situation, he's on a minutes count. They're trying to bring him in slowly into the fold. Fournier's out. He can't defend, man. He can't defend you out there, bro. Good job by Thibs going early with the quick hook and getting Cam in there. We need a real wing. We need wing defense.
I know, but don't that's a totally fair point. But everyone was making all this hype about how well Cam played against Boston last week. I mean, he had 4 points in 37 minutes in that game. Like, I get that he's long and he works hard on D, but like, let's not overrate this guy. He's not like Ron Artest like in the heyday. Like, he's a nice guy that works hard on defense, and he's a better defender than Fournier, but
Right.
he's a low
But
percentage
but that's
three-point
it.
shooter. He's a 33% three-point shooter for his
Right.
career, 32%.
I get it. I
Not
definitely
going
get
to
it.
help us.
I appreciate the call, man. Look, I get it. I think as I've been saying in the beginning, in the training camp series preseason, Fournier was only keeping the spot warm for Grimes. The Grimes injury set him back. Thibs went to Cam because of how desperately we need perimeter defense. You need the defense. If you got to sacrifice offense out there to get it, then so be it. You had another night tonight. You had RJ, Julius, Brunson dropping 20 points for the third time this season in 12 games. That's a good sign. They need to get the three-point shooting back on track, no doubt about it, but it's not like Fournier was lighting it up either. And on the flip side, his defense is garbage. He was only holding that spot for Grimes. The Grimes injury set him back. You needed Cam out there. You put Cam's defense. I agree with him. I think the fans always overrate Cam. But at the very least, his defense is needed. And so I don't necessarily worry about his offense because you should be able to scrape by between RJ, Julius, and Brunson if they're on their game. But you need defense out there, bro.
For sure. I mean, look, even Fournier tonight in his 12 minutes, he didn't make any shots. He had 5 attempts from the field, made none of them, got to the line and hit 3 of his 4 free throws. But other than that, you had a poor turnover tonight. He's a turnstile on defense. I mean, we all watched the first couple of games, him in the starting rotation. It was a turnstile. You can't have that, man, especially if you want to compete. Thibs' job is definitely on the line this season. Not probably, it's definitely on the line. I could, we hear Begley, we hear all the other reporters, Cats, where it's like, it's got to be a plan, man. Like, Thibs has to be making the plan, like, has to be fighting for that position after what he did first year and how bad last season was. And you're going to need defense out there. And to even show that I see that he wants Grimes in the starting rotation. Go back once again to that lineup we talked about earlier. You talk about Brunson, Grimes, RJ, Randall. Those 4 alone. That's 4 of that. That's 3 of the 5 starters right there in that rotation.
Yeah.
You see that he's trying to, in the limited minutes that he gave him, not in a closing game, not to close, wanted to make sure that he could have a decent run with a decent lead out there and get some repetitions with those guys. And I just see that's going to be Grimes. In my opinion, it's going to be Grimes in that starting rotation. You just see how efficient he was even in tonight in his limited minutes. Yeah, it's nothing like eye popping, but he made 2 of his 4 shots within 8 minutes. You saw the rebounding that you get out there. You see the defense. You see how quick he is. He had a quick first step, like I said earlier, when he went to attack the rim. But you just need him out there, especially if you need it for defense and the limited touches that he needs to get going offensively, especially from 3. Cam, good defender. Like, we need defense. We're not a team that can go out there and just score with everybody. And if you're going to have nights where you don't know what you're getting from Evan Fournier, which is true, we saw that last season. There are nights that Evan Fournier will go 7 for 10 from the field and be on fire. And then there's other nights where he'll take 10 shots and hit 1. You can't have that, especially if he's not giving you anything on the defensive end. That's not helping anybody. Yes, he was our best 3-point shooter last season, but an inconsistent 3-point shooter at that. All right? Off the bench, fine. Starter, no.
Yeah, no question about it, man. Back to some of the sounds of the game. Here's Julius. Julius wants to show the fans some love, man. Let's hear what Julius had to say about the fans tonight and the support for the hometown team.
That's New York for you. Guys are really invested into what we're doing, how we're playing, us winning games and putting on for the city. So whether it's Ronnie or, your average fan, we love the love. We appreciate the love, and, we do our best to go out there and make everybody proud.
All right, so Julius acknowledging the fans. I thought he was gonna give us a shout out, man. I didn't hear shout out to KnicksFanTV for their unwavering support. That would have been a nice gesture, man. I thought he was gonna show us some love, man.
Yeah, okay. Half of this panel has been blocked.
I haven't been blocked. I have not been blocked.
I am.
I have not been blocked. I mean, I don't even know last time I even checked his page, but I don't think I've been blocked.
Yeah, so I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. I thought he would have.
It'd be nice though. It'd be a nice change of pace.
Well, nice, man. Yo, shout out CP and the guys, man. See KnicksFanTV holding us down every night, even on the bum nights. You know, we played the Pistons tonight. Where's the defense in the league? They're celebrating us like, championship game here. Something like just a little acknowledgement. I don't ask for much.
We didn't have the energy against the Brooklyn Nets, but those guys went on live and made it entertaining.
Yeah.
Gave the listeners something to enjoy.
Yeah. We watch KnicksFanTV every night. What Kemba's saying is Woj interview, and we're gonna talk about that Kemba interview on Knicks Weekly on Monday. On Monday, and Kemba was saying that players go check their phones at halftime.
That's wild.
And he's like, "Why are you checking your phone at halftime? All you're gonna do is see people bashing you." That means he's returned to last year.
Oh yeah.
This ain't Charlotte. He's talking about Knicks Twitter.
Oh yeah. That's wild.
He's talking about Knicks Twitter.
I would never. Absolutely not. Why do you even want to see that? Especially if you're having a bad night. Why would you even want to log on?
It just goes to show you the social media addiction hits everybody.
Man,
you know what I mean?
Stay off the phone, man. Just
stay off the phone.
Stay off the phone.
Stay off the phone.
Especially if you've been hopping on Twitter these days.
Yeah. Don't listen to Jose.
Everyone's verified. Everyone's doing.
Oh man, everyone's verified. It's the Wild Wild West out here, man.
It's nuts.
It is absolutely crazy, man. All right, let's do some
play. Get it?
What's that?
No, I just don't get it. Like, why would you what makes you think, especially if you're having a bad night, like if you're starting off, or even if you know that the fans are not behind you already, right? Like you already know you're on thin ice. Why do you want to go on there to see what? What does that do for you? Like mentally, what does that do for you? It's like hitting your head against the wall. Like, I'm angry at myself. Just like, why? It doesn't make any sense.
It's just that how the social media, it's just the algorithms, man. It's just how we're programmed. Or program like Maslow's dog. When he hears the bell to go eat, when you hear that bell for your notifications, positive, negative, or indifferent, you want to check. You want to see. You want to see what's going on. Maybe you jump on your burner account and clap back, like KD does.
Like KD does.
They can't stay away, man. You know.
Oh,
I know some of those guys heard Jose's call. I'm sure that got to a couple of people.
Hey man, it's out there.
It's out there.
It's out there. We know they check in.
Yeah.
We know they watch.
Absolutely.
You hear that one? I hope that puts a fire under your butt to go perform.
Pavlov's dog. I said Maslow's dog. Pavlov's dog. There, that is. I think Maslow was the three needs, right? Food, water, and shelter, right? It's been a while since I've been in school, man. I got to go back into the archives and learn some of that useless stuff that they teach you that,
Yeah, what year was that? 1970 what?
Yeah, it was a long time. It was a long time back in my day, man. Back in my day was a long time, bro. It was a long time. Let's do some play ratings, bro. Let's do some play ratings tonight. Let's start with Julius. What do you think of Julius's game tonight? 21 points, 8 boards, 5 times, 8-18 from the field, 0-7 from downtown. So the Cinderella story from the Timberwolves game, he's back.
He is back. That 3-point shooting, man. I'm gonna give Randall a 7 for tonight.
Okay.
I thought he had a solid game, 21 points, obviously 8 rebounds. I thought he made some critical boards towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
To really make sure that the Pistons couldn't get any second chance points. 5 assists. I thought off ball he was doing pretty well today, cutting.
Mm-hmm.
He was just very active for the most part. I thought his defense was pretty good tonight. So I'm gonna give Randall a 7 for tonight. Obviously the 3-point shooting, you want to see him at least hit 1, but shooting with confidence. He also made some clutch mid-range jumpers down the stretch of the game too.
Yeah.
So I'll give him a 7 for tonight.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7 as well. I thought he was relatively locked in for most of the game. Kept the turnovers low, only 2 turnovers. Decision making was fairly steady this game. Again, 0 for 7 from downtown. You'd like to see him make at least a couple of those, maybe 3. Give me 3 of those. A lot of those were wide open. They weren't really well contested. But overall, I thought he ran the floor well, 5 of 5 from downtown, and a couple of big boards in crunch time when we needed it. So, good job by him. I mean, Randall overall is a good defensive rebounder. He's always been a good defensive rebounder. So, good job in crunch time to solidify the boards and prevent Alec Burks and those guys from getting second chance opportunities, man. Because Burks didn't hit that one corner 3, but if you keep giving him chances, he'll burn you. So, good job by Julius tonight. What do you guys think in the chat? What are you rating Julius tonight, 1 through 10? We're doing player ratings right now, sponsored by KnicksFanTV.com. How about Brunson?
Brunson gets I'll give him an 8.
Yeah.
Give him an 8 for tonight. I got you the 26 points, 8 for 16 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3. Hit all of his free throws. Once again, he was also clutch tonight. Got you the 7 dimes, 4 steals. I thought he was pretty good defensively with the active hands and just being able to jump the passing lanes. It just comes down to him being that playmaker, and that's why he really gets the 8 tonight, because I felt like he controlled the game more than he has the last couple of games, instead of letting Randall or RJ trying to dictate where it goes, and predominantly Randall the last couple of games. But for tonight, the ball was mostly in his hands, and he was the decision maker. So for that, I'll give him an 8, especially with the clutch shooting down the line where you had, the floater, mid-range jumpers, good decision making. I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, I'll give him an 8 as well. I thought it was a great game by him. Yeah, again, yes, this is the Pistons, bad defense and all, but I look at decision making, no turnovers, 9 points in the fourth quarter, playmaking very well. I took him to task for not doing that enough, especially in the Nets loss. 7 dimes for him tonight, 26 points, 8 of 16 from the field, 2 of 5 from downtown. Great game. Great game statistically, and again, impacting, winning. 9 points in that fourth, and there was he did it with an interesting group. It wasn't all of it wasn't with RJ and Julius in the lineup. A lot of it, he was in that lineup with IQ, Fournier, Obi, Hartenstein, and we talk about that mixing and matching of in the rotation. Thibs went with that group for quite some time in the fourth, even when Detroit was making their run. And so I thought that was interesting. So Brunson understanding his role with that unit and needing to be a bit more aggressive there, I thought he was solid, in getting those points. So great job by him, man. I'll give him another 8. Solid job by Brunson. How about RJ?
He gets a 9.
Yeah.
Gets a 9. I mean, you always mention it, gotta be quality opponent. This is the Pistons.
Yeah.
But efficient night, 10 for 17, 3 for 8 from 3. Got you the 5 boards, 5 assists. I thought he was pretty solid defensively. I thought his decision-making was really good. You saw how patient he was. He was knocking down, and he had some quick jumpers too. Like quick catch and shoot, man. Like Brunson would find him out there on the wing, and he just pulled the trigger. So I like his overall performance tonight. But once again, it is the Pistons. We like to see this type of performance against better opponents, more quality opponents. But I thought overall for showing up, especially, how the Brooklyn game went, solid bounce back game. And when he's in there with the second unit, man, he knows what his role is too, to be the alpha and to attack. And I like that Thibs went that direction tonight to give him that opportunity.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'll give him a 9 as well. You only get 10s for big games. So I'll give him a 9 just because with him, there's as I said earlier in the show, there's 3 things that I'm watching every game from him. His defense, how efficient is he from the floor, can he finish well, and can he playmate? Because I still feel like there's some untapped playmaking potential, especially the fact that he's able to draw defenders when he's attacking the lane. That means somebody's open. And in crunch time, when the Pistons were making their charge, he found quickly for a clutch 3-pointer that moved the lead from 6 to 9 and basically wrapped the game up. And that was a big assist. That was a big play by RJ. Also 2 clutch free throws when the Pistons had cut it to 4, he draws the foul, got 2 free throws there, knocked it down. He was clutch, good from the free throw line, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. And then also when he was attacking in the paint, a couple of times he had smaller guys on him. That was another thing I was wanted to watch this year, how he would capitalize on the size advantages that he has. And he hit a nice one in the lane over Killian Hayes, and also on I believe it was like Corey Joseph, or one of the smaller guards on the Pistons. So I just thought he did a good job. Whenever he's finishing well like this, you got to give him credit. Shot the ball very well tonight, and overall solid game. So I'll give RJ a 9. What do you guys in the chat think, man? RJ fans and haters, go ahead and rate RJ's night tonight 1 to 10. What'd you think about RJ? This is player ratings presented by KnicksFanTV.com. Who else? The bench wasn't really overly impactful. I mean, you want to go with Quick? What'd you think about Quick? You want to rate Quick tonight? Bench wasn't overly impactful. I mean, no, I give him a 6.
I think that's fair. I think 6 is fair for Quick.
I'll give Quick a 6.
Yeah, I think that's a good score for him because look, he had that impactful 3. He did save the ball from going out of bounds to get it back.
That was big. It was a big hustle play.
Yeah, and look, his defense. The thing is his shooting, man. Like, he's doing everything else well. When it comes to rebounding, when it comes to playing defense, getting steals. Some nights his assist numbers are there. Not tonight. He only got 1 tonight. But I think he moves the rock pretty well, and he knows when to attack. That's when he's at his best. Tonight, I wouldn't say he was not at his best for when it came to shooting the ball and attacking, but I think a 6 is fair for how impactful he was in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
and closing the game out strong.
Good hustle play, as you said. Even though his shooting hasn't been there all year, his defense has been fairly consistent, and he's been getting on the boards quite well for a guy of his size. Quickly has been rebounding well. So give him credit for that. Good hustle play and knock down a clutch corner 3 to bring the lead from 6 to 9. So good job by Quick. And we'll give him a 6. Clyde Owasu says, how you give Randall a 7 and Quickly a 6? It's a 6, man. 5 is like... 5 and below is more like bad games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
I thought 6 was fair.
Are we asking why Quick got 6 and?
Yeah, I guess he wanted.
7?
I guess he's a Randall fan. He wanted He wanted more respect for Randall. I thought it was fair, man.
I think 7's fair.
Yeah, I think my grading on play ratings is quite fair, sir. So,
what do you want to give Randall? 8?
Right.
I want to know what's the score.
Right. No, we can't do that here. This is our score here, sir. All right, that's play ratings, man. For all of you at home, catch the full breakdown of play ratings on KnicksFanTV.com. We have a great article every day after the game written by KnicksFanTV Remy. He breaks down the entire game, recaps the game, and does play ratings for every single player on the team. We also have a write-up by Alex on the Knicks City Edition jerseys that debut tonight. So make sure you guys are going to KnicksFanTV.com, signing up for the mailing list so that we make sure that we are keeping in contact and giving you guys updates on the latest and greatest when it comes to Knicks Fan TV, our events, games, everything like that. Make sure you guys are going to KnicksFanTV.com and checking out the content, and leave us a comment on some articles, share some articles. That would be great as well. Okay, getting to back to the phones. Let's go to the Discord. YC Lemon on the Discord. YC Lemon, let's go.
Hey, man. I'm Justin, actually from Toronto, the same guy who called.
Oh, Justin.
It's my fault about all that, man. Toronto, it costs money to call to America.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's NAFTA, man. NAFTA's jerking
here.
you guys, man.
I
said NAFTA's jerking you guys, but go ahead.
No, it's all cool, man. We Canadian, we good.
Mm-hmm.
But so actually, I want to kind of, at the beginning of your podcast, we were talking about like Derrick Rose a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, he hasn't been playing his greatest basketball. So I understand that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like him coming like he's always been coming off the bench for the past 3 years he's been with the Knicks. But in the past he's been kind of like that number one option off the bench. Like he was playing that 6-man role. I know Quickly was behind him and Quickly was thriving with Derrick Rose, but again, that's because Derrick Rose had the ball in his hand for most of the on the bench. And this season, I guess they're putting that ball more in Quickly's hand. And again, me personally, I don't think I've seen Quickly thrive as much as he was past years because he's controlling the ball more often and they're giving Quickly that point guard role. I think that maybe Quickly could kind of thrive a little bit better if like Derrick Rose kind of ran that 6-man option, like the number one point guard, and he's bringing up the ball and not really kind of feeding it. Like, I don't know. I just feel like Quickly is not getting much shots off because he's the one trying to create the shots and then he has to pass it off. That's just my personal opinion. And again, his minutes is hard to like judge his game or his play time with just like averaging 12 minutes or like maybe 10 minutes,
Yeah.
That's just that's just rapid fire from me. Anyways, much love from Toronto, man,
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
So to everybody in the 6, man. You too, bro. You too. Yeah, I think it was along the lines of, what we've been saying, just in terms of Quickly's role and is it being impacted by Rose's ineffectiveness early in the season. Something to watch. But nevertheless, Quickly was brought in here to be a much better shooter than he's been. And it's so funny because when he came here in his rookie year, he did shoot close to 40% from threes. His twos were still bad. But I think one of the things we were looking for him to improve on was his playmaking. Last year, the shooting dipped. The playmaking came up. Now this year, it's almost been a regression in both.
Yeah.
So, Quickly's having an interesting journey.
Even his free throw shooting, man. He's missing shots.
It's been a surprise. He's at 78%.
It's shocking, man. He was close to a 90% free throw shooter when he came in as a rookie. You talk about hitting close to 40% from three. He dropped to 35%. He's shooting right now on the season 25.6% from three and 33.7% from the field in total, man. I mean, the twos are still there. They're hovering around the same spot, but it's the threes, man. He came in as a marksman. That's what we needed.
Yep.
And I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm saying give it time.
Yeah.
Still, we're only 12 games into the season. By that 20 game mark, something's got to change, man. And I'm not saying for like Quickly needs to be benched or anything. I'm looking for his shooting to come back around by the 20 game mark. It should be coming around by now because we really need his shooting. But by then, hopefully he's in rhythm. If
you looked at his effective field goal percentage charts last year, he does go through peaks and valleys though. Throughout the season, it was just like,
oh yeah,
and then he finished strong.
I wrote this when he got drafted for Hoops Habit. This is the type of player he is. He'll have games where he's shooting 50, 60% from the field. And then there's nights where he's shooting 10 and 20. That's what he did at Kentucky. And he's just doing that now. So he's just an erratic shooter.
Yeah.
But you hope that. But the thing is, like, from college, there are guys in college that have those type of performances too. And once they get to the NBA, being in the league long enough and go through the workouts and all that thing, they become consistent shooters. So you're hoping that maybe this is just a slump that Quickly's going through at the beginning of the season, and then he gets back on track and finishes the season strong.
True indeed, man. All right, we got one more caller. We're waiting for Edgar to screen. Sounds like they have their own private conversation. Just waiting for Edgar to give me the name. Oh, the person hung up. Okay. All right, the person dropped off. All right, so with that being said, since we'll be back Sunday against the Thunder, early matinee tip-off, we'll wrap up tonight's show, man. Great show, everybody. Knicks win once again, 121-112. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys for a Knicks victory. Let me get to the super chats real quick. 1,400 in the chat, man. Hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button, and share this video ASAP. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, okay. Edgar says the guy's back. All right, we'll get to that person after we read through the super chats. Shout out to Ryan Cortez, $5 super chat, says we look like a different team every game. Yeah, that's an inconsistent team for you. Junior Karuma, $5 super chat, says RJ is him, JV is him, Jules is him. Howard 3 stars. If all three would have showed up against the Nets, we would have watched the Nets. And Nets were a better team. You know, you're not always gonna have those opportunities that the Pistons gave you. Shout out Ryan Manimal Chuck D, $10 super chat, says Dick Barnett was a super basketball legend, equal par respect like D Rose, but he knew how to fit when Clyde took over. Then when Earl came, Dick Barnett was an emergency break glass for Holtzman. Yeah, no question. I mean, the level of sacrifice that those OGs, that the legends had to put in to accommodate other stars, you know, I just think it's a different mindset. It's ego. It's hard to control. It's hard to adjust. So let's see how that works, man. All right, I don't know. The caller keeps dropping. So all right, they said they'll call back next time. Okay, no problem. So nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, great show. Remember that these shows are available in audio podcast format, man. All the major podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify. So if you can't make it on video, you can always catch it in podcast format. And also go to manscaped.com, promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. And go to KnicksFanTV.com for player ratings, Remy's recaps, a number of great articles by our KnicksFanTV.com team, and your Knicks Fan TV snaps, man. Go get those. We'll see you Sunday, matinee edition, Knicks versus Thunder. Let's get it going, man. Let's get 2 in a row. Al, great show.